Get a good look at that. Woo-wee. Woo-wee. This is Dylan from Throttle Company in Columbus, Ohio. This video is going to be about the differences, but mostly appearance-wise, in the Super Meteor. So the Royal Enfield 650, it's a twin, it's a cruiser, it's amazing. There are 7 different colors, and it's kind of overwhelming. So maybe you've seen photos online, and it's hard to tell what colors and the details. So we're going to go over that right now. So the first thing to acknowledge is that mechanically they're all the same. There's no difference in suspension or performance or any of that stuff. It's all appearance except on these two, the blue and the red. They're called Celestial, and they have a windscreen, standard, and this one-piece touring seat with the backrest. So as they're sitting now, they're standard. Most of these things are as they come. The Interstellar Green is slightly different, so we'll talk about that when we get to it. So I'd like to start basically from the top down, but that would be Celestial. This is called Celestial Blue. The thing you notice about it is this 3D tank badge on the side with the gold, like faceted accents in there, and then the white cream color with the gold line on the side. Very classic looking. The color, and I think this will come across in video, but it doesn't come across well in photos, and it definitely comes across well in person, is how much depth there is to the blue. That's the thing that I just keep noticing now that we've had this in the shop for a while. There's a lot of like light color blue, dark color blue, a small amount of flake to it. It's just a really, really nice, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but like a slightly fancy car, like a Cadillac or a Buick kind of blue. It's very like classic and stately. You have this side cover, so all of them have slightly different designs to the side cover. So very classy, very classic. The cream panel, the blue, the little gold accent on it. Blue fender up front. The Celestial Red, very similar. Same badge, same basic color scheme, but you notice on this one, the white color is on top. So you can, when you're actually riding it, kind of looks white, which is interesting when you're sitting in the seat. And then that side panel has this type of graphic. So some of these other ones share it, and we'll talk about them when we get to it, but 650 is highlighted and the Super Meteor is small. That to me looks a little more, I don't know, like a cartoon from the 60s or something. So it's got a little bit more style to it than just saying the words in a classy way. Red fenders, of course. Like I said, I mentioned the 3D badge. This red has a not quite as much depth to it and just maybe a small amount of metallic. I wouldn't really even consider that flake. So that's something to consider. In person, it's like almost a brick red. I bet it's the same red as Canyon red that's on the Interceptor, but not like a pure red that you think of. All right, so the next level down, if you will, is Interstellar. So it's Interstellar missing, no windscreen, no seat, except we added the backrest to that one, and we added the windscreen. So you can always add that kind of stuff, and they're pretty inexpensive. The thing to notice on the Interstellar Gray is what this color is called. The badge does not have the gold accents in it, so you have the 3D badge, but it doesn't have as much gold there. It's kind of like muted. Something I noticed is you've got the lighter color silver, then a kind of medium gray here in the black. This medium gray line continues on the side panel, and it's a very unique side panel design. Someone said it looked like the beginning of a James Bond movie, so think about that, where it's like very interesting choices on the color and the font, and the 650 is like hidden behind this, like, I don't know, like closed off window. Very, very interesting, but when you see it from this side, especially with the different finishes on the engine, it looks very monochromatic. So there's no actual color to this. An interesting thing to note is the front fender is light silver and the back is black. So something that you may not pick up on normally. All right, next, Interstellar Green. And this is a lot of people's favorite color. It stands out a ton. You've got a lot of like metal flakiness to the green. You have a gold line, the black panel here, and you do have, you're back to the 3D badge with the gold in it. The side panels, very unique. Super is highlighted in gold, and then Meteor 650 is in like a green, and then the whole thing's black. The same color scheme continued on the rear fender and the front fender. And remember, the accessories on this don't normally come on. We've fancied this one up a bit. So no windscreen, no backrest on that one. It looks exactly like Interstellar Gray with the seat and no windscreen, that kind of thing. That's one everybody likes when they first come in and they say, oh, the Interstellar Green, and it's been used in a lot of the marketing. I think it's great, and it's even better in person. But I do think the other ones wind up looking really good the more you pay attention to them. All right, so these three here are called Astral. That is sort of the base model, but really there's not too much different from the Interstellars. Astral Black, Astral Green, Astral Blue. These ones have the 3D badge, but no gold in them. And then it's a single color. So this, hopefully this comes across on camera. It's called black, but it is kind of a dark gray, and it almost, in some lights, have a bit of a purple hue to it. The side panel here is that style graphic that was the same one on the Celestial Red. The back fender is the same color, so everything's just basically one color. And the black and the blue don't really have any like graphics or pinstriping or any lines like that. Just solid fenders, solid side covers. And I don't know if I've mentioned this in other ones, and that's not really the point of this, but everything's metal. The side covers are metal, the fenders are metal. This is Astral Green. And Astral Green kind of has the biggest trick. Right now in this light, maybe from your side, it looks almost black. It looks very dark. And in really low light, it does look black. No badge, just the graphics to say Royal Enfield. They're raised up slightly, and then the pinstripe. But this green in the sunlight, which we maybe can see from this side of the window, and it's on the fenders. It has the same graphics that I just mentioned on the side cover for the Super Meteor, but it is sparkly green. It has a lot of flake to it. So come check that out on this side in the light. So that's the one that is probably the hardest to tell from just photos what it actually looks like in person, because like I said, it basically has that optical illusion with the colors. And then last of the 7 is Astral Blue. It's a very light blue. It's like almost a sky blue. Everything is the same color, so that's the Astral series. That's how to keep it straight, is that there's no pinstriping. Well, the one has a slight pinstripe, but there's no other accent colors. It's one solid color. Same design on the side panels as those other two and the Celestial Red. 3D badge, no gold in the badge. And the fenders are the same color. So it's a very light blue. I actually don't think Royal Enfield do this often, but the Super Meteors seem to be a little bit different with this. But like, they don't use that color on anything else. I don't think they use this color on anything else. Sometimes they'll share colors between their different lines or use them in a different way. One time it's matte, one time it's gloss. But I don't think this color is used on any other bike in Royal Enfield's lineup. It's very interesting. It's definitely the most unique color of all of them. The rest of them, you could kind of say, oh, that's basically, if I just want a black bike, I don't want to make the choice, or the dark green is almost black, or I need to have the touring bike, so I pick one of the Celestials. This one, you either fall in love with it or you don't. It's a very definite choice in color. All right, so that's the whole lineup. Mostly you want to choose for color, and you really want to see them all in person, but they go fast. So that's why I wanted to do this video, where we happen to see them all in one place.